Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted, episode 132. Boys, some talking points. Springboks, champions, rugby championship winners. Absolutely beautiful. We'll talk a little bit of URC because obviously the content's going to switch over, focus on the URC. So we'll talk about the URC after the rugby championship. But boys, Brevan, I'm coming straight to you. How are you feeling morning after? We've done it. We've done it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. I mean, because obviously 2019 when we won the rugby championship, it was obviously a three-game, shortened one. So it's like people discredit that, of course, but it's good to win a big one. A fully contested one. And personally, I think we dominated the whole thing. Obviously, the loss in Argentina. We all know why that went down. I just think no chemistry within the team, sent a weaker side, obviously, with some experienced guys. But in general, we just saw, on Saturday, obviously this comes out on Monday, that when we play our strongest team, tickets for everyone, baby.
Brett, how are you feeling?
Before I get into the actual rugby part, I just have a little request to everybody that actually watches our podcast. So we have this massive goal. We would like to obviously be the biggest rugby podcast on the planet. Like, this is not a little fun get-together thing that we just do for fun. It started off that way, but I feel like we're growing at a good enough pace. We do like that everyone likes and subscribes and comments and all that stuff. But can you guys just tell us what would you like to see different from us? Like, what would you suggest we do?
Don't suggest in-person stuff because one's in Cape Town and the other two is in Joburg. So
yes, yeah. So obviously, we can't sit together in a studio. But what type of stuff would people actually like to see? Because we know we can be the biggest rugby podcast on the planet, and like, I mean, come on, it's not even a joke, a secret anymore. So anyway, very happy that South Africa won the rugby championship. I'm a Boks supporter, so I thrive to be the best watching rugby, and I thrive to be the best on podcasts. So I feel like we need to be the biggest.
People might be very, very caught off guard now because obviously, just some context behind it. We just said before we started filming and we were like, what can we actually do to keep on growing? What can we actually sit and do better? Obviously, it's tough when it has to be like this virtual thing. So we just thought we'd throw it out to you guys. If you have any recommendations, then just throw it at us, But anyway, boys, I'm feeling cocky. I'm feeling very cocky.
What's new?
Because I've never had so much abuse. I've never had to endure so much bullying like I had to do the past week. The Manie hate that I got for backing this boy. Whoa, okay.
Sorry, that's my laptop, man. Sorry.
Then he comes out this weekend, puts on an absolute stellar performance, and everyone in the comment section on my other platform, they've just been, sorry, boy. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Manie. Sorry, Manie. Sorry, Manie. And we spoke about it. They're judging him on one kick. He was brilliant on Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. I actually see people commenting, what was he good at? Just passing. Seriously? Did you not watch the game?
But
Brett,
no,
Brett, you are a 10. Tell us how good was Manie on Saturday.
Okay, firstly, his defense was out of this world. He didn't just stop the player. He actually tackled players backwards. But against Scotland in the World Cup, he did that no look kick, and he did it again on Saturday. He was looking that way, kicked that way. It was insane in Cheslin Colby's hands. And also the line breaks. I mean, come on. Zoe did everything. And guys, people don't understand this. If you're a right-footed kicker and you have to kick up and unders to pinpoint precision with your wrong foot, and it lands at the same place 10 times out of 10, you are a world-class 10 or a world-class kicker for that regard.
Just to add to that, right, like I'm no professional rugby player, right? I haven't played to any high standards or anything. I mean, I played a bit at school. That's it, right? But Manie just looks like he's got so much more time on the ball. His pass is absolutely brilliant. Like when Manie gets the ball, it just feels like there's so much more options. And then you talk about that cross kick. That one that he did to Cheslin Colby on Saturday was arguably even harder, right? Because you're used to doing the cross kick all over the field, right? But he
Yeah.
literally pulled in two defenders to come into our line of defense and literally just dinked it 3-4 meters, almost like a forward pass, but just with his boot to find
Yes.
Colby into open space. I read a stat that Colby's never got more front foot ball and running meters than he's ever had. And it's every time it's Manie getting that ball to him.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Manie was insane this weekend.
Yeah.
And as you said, the defense, I swear I saw him make like 10 tackles in the first half alone. As a 10. Brevan, what was your thoughts on just Manie alone?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I think the way Rassie handled the whole situation was top class, like proper top class. Back your players, and I think this is what a lot of coaches lack these days: is they don't back what they have. Is they'll see a few rusty performances by guys who they know, who we all know have the potential to be great, and they don't listen to the outside world, and they just stick to what they believe. And Manie proved, obviously most players and 99.9% of players will have, in fact 100% of players will have a weakness in their game somewhere. It's just part of life. And if Manie's is kicking for goal, then unfortunately that's what it is. But what he brought, other than that, and like we said, we shouldn't be beating Argentina by threes. We should be thumping them. And the way Manie did that, it was just perfect. I think he played superbly. Like you said, he silenced a lot of people. And I think he's really stuck up his hand to compete against Sasha and Pollard for a real run in this team. November's going to be interesting. Maybe I think you got to give Manie some game time there and
Well, he's
starting as
gonna
well.
seeing that Sasha's injured. Sasha's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, I thought he would be back by then, but yeah, if he is
Yes.
out, then okay. But either way, I just want to see Manie get a bit more time, and I still think we should be beating the teams we're traveling to by more than just penalties. So
Yeah.
I'm
Brevan,
very
it's
happy with it.
interesting that you mentioned that you want to see more of Manie, right? Especially after yesterday, because I've brought it up before that we kind of don't want to judge our favorites and we don't want to give compliments to the guys that we usually critique. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to kind of give a compliment to someone that we've critiqued, because I thought Jaden Hendrickse was great yesterday. And I asked Brett on another platform if we base it purely on yesterday, and Jaden Hendrickse can take over the kicking duties, and he plays like he did yesterday because he was at every breakdown. He did some dirty work. He was quick at the breakdown, and he gave Manie front football every single time. Would you like to see that as a combination being played more? I'm going straight back to you, Brevan.
Okay. I still want to see more. Okay, I don't want to be that guy, but like obviously, Jaden played very well. I think his kicking from the ruck was superb as usual. I think that's a real strength of his. But yeah, I just want to see more from Hendrickse. A bit more. And look, the potential's there. If he can fix certain parts of his game or just fine tune them, I do think he has a real spot in that Springbok team. But yeah, it's so tough because we have so many nines coming up, and it's like, who would be the best choice there? Like, obviously we have Grant Williams, but now is he considered the Kwagga Smith of the back line? Like, and he just comes off the bench.
You could see Mohamba. That can also take the kicking duties if Rassie wants to go that route as well.
Maybe. But yeah, it's a combo that worked yesterday. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I mean, test it again. It worked. Well, that means it deserves another chance. So yeah, I'd see it again.
Brett, your thoughts?
Yeah, I do kind of agree. Like it's almost becoming so irritating that we have so much depth. Like everybody's that walked into this team is performing. It's like you don't want that player there because you personally don't like him. Not you, I'm saying in general. And then that person goes and puts his hand up and plays well. Like Fussy for me. Fussy for me should never be a Springbok. And now he's actually playing well. But I think that's the Rassie influence and the Tony Brown influence that's making them these good players. So it's difficult because when Faf comes back, well, what do we do then? Then we have 4 9s that are all on form. Well, I don't know if Faf will form, but I mean, what do you do? And we have 3 great fly-ups that are on form. It's a headache that I'm so glad I don't have.
Yeah, but before we continue with some of the players, I want to talk to you guys about the game as a whole. It felt the most charity 7 points ever that Argentina got. They were nowhere in this game, in my opinion. I was playing Where's Wally? Where's Argentina? They got battered left, right, and center. Don't get me wrong. Their try was a beautiful try. They just carved us open through the middle. Beautiful try. But other than that try, there was nothing. There was nothing. From minute 1, they got steamrolled. And you look at the South African team and you're like, well, who even had an average game? I can't even spot a guy that I thought had an average game. Every single one of those guys were like, if the other guy didn't play well, they could be up for a man of the match performance. Brett, you're shaking your head. Who do you think had an average game?
So I just mentioned his name and I felt like he had moments of brilliance, but also when you knock the ball on 4 times in a test match that's that well-rounded and you can't pass to the left, I feel like, good game, but below average compared to everybody else. And I thought Fussy was probably the worst player on the field, but good enough to still
There's a bunch of people that's going to disagree because they'll say Fussy was their man of the match. I've seen a couple of people say that.
Man of the match is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I saw on that voting thing on one of the other pages that actually did it, and Fussy is ranked 2nd of man of the matches. I felt like it was a toss-up between Cheslin Colby and Peter Steph Toy in that game, and the correct guy won it. But I mean, Fussy for me, people see what they want to see. Like, look at that one. He caught the high ball. Well, not the high ball. They kicked on him. He ran straight into the defender, and he got tackled 3 meters backwards. Like, you that fast, you have so much space around you, and you try to run through a player, and you get tackled backwards. And if I'm not mistaken, he lost the ball there as well. I was chatting to somebody during the game where they were saying Fussy scored his 2nd try, and they said Fussy is actually playing a good game because they know how I feel about it. And then every mistake after that, I just said Fussy angry face, Fussy angry. I came to 7 mistakes after his 2nd try.
Brett's hyper-analyzing Fussy just to state his point.
Yes,
every single time.
That's what I do.
Brevin, what did you think of the match as a whole?
As a whole, yeah, look, like you said, we dominated from minute 1. I think we were better in every facet of the game. I think this shows what the Springboks are capable of at their full strength. I mean, I saw something on another social media platform, and they were like, to the people who wanted to make the Springboks play quicker, I'm sure you're regretting that now. Because, jeepers, that
Shout
was...
out to John Kerwin.
Okay. Yeah, because, that was just a complete performance. And, yeah, like you said, I personally, I don't think anyone had a bad game. So... and I think that's a good sign because you very rarely ever get to see a team performance where everyone performed well. So it's good to see. Obviously, boys rest up now, play a bit of URC, and we have to pick up where we left off in this rugby championship. And I think we need to go 3 for 3 in November. So I back them to do that.
Yeah, well, personally, I actually thought Curtly Orange had a bit of a quiet game until he just all of a sudden came to life in that 2nd half. I think from minute 60, that guy just realized, listen, Colby's outshining me, and he's outshining me badly. And he just came alive. Imagine if he scored that try, that fussy cross kick try, that would have been, That had to be one of the tries of the year. That was beautiful. But yeah, boys, overall, just smash them. We talk about putting on a clinic and a statement victory. That's what we asked for, right? Especially after last weekend, because we spoke about it. You get these flip-flopping fans that just like all of a sudden we lose one game and it's doom and gloom and we're all stressed about Argentina. Yet we were so confident going into last weekend. They beat us by 1 point. 1 point. You know, all of those points that we left on the field, all the defensive disaster classes in terms of missed tackles, you know, you can't be doubting our team like that after one game. Like slip-ups are going to happen. It's going to happen, right? But you can't just all of a sudden judge your team and be stressed about literally everything. I went into this week and I was like, the boys will be ready. They're going to smash them. And we said it from the start. And this is as statement performance as you'll get. And I think it should have been even more because we had a 25-minute spell when the second half started. No points. No points in it. Imagine if we put another 10, 15 points on them in those 25 minutes. That would have looked embarrassing. Imagine a 62-7 victory to win the rugby championship. Never mind 48-7.
Do you know what's a big issue for me regarding last week's game? Every single pundit, TV show, social media influencer, everybody were fixated on Argentina beating South Africa. And not even a single person or page or commentator or anything mentioned the fact that there was no Sia Kulisi, no France Malaba, no Peter Steptoe, no Cheslin Colby, no Willie Lou, no freaking... Half the team wasn't there.
Damien Dialenda, massive game.
Damien Dialenda. They beat us by 1 point. And they make such a scene about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Trevor, you made the face. How sexy was Damien Dialenda?
But this is the Damien I want to see, man. Carry the ball, Damien, man. Like, dude, it was so good to see.
A monster.
And at the same time, just adding that variation, like he just did, and it was awesome. But like Brett said, right? People don't take things into context these days. They just look at a result and they think, oh goodness gracious me. Like kudos to Argentina. Like, congrats, you won that game and well done.
Yeah.
But when it came to strongest team versus strongest team, you found out. Like, it's just how it is. Like, and yes, like there's no B team excuses. Like I just said, Argentina won the game fair and square, not fair and square. And like, you got to give them credit for that. And but unfortunately, like, I'm a person that always looks at context. And obviously, we were all like, Manie, and if Manie makes that kick, different story. And if certain players make their tackles, different story. Lots of different factors there. So I think something about South African rugby at the moment is a lot of new people are coming to the sport. Especially in this country, because of what they see it's doing to the country, right? Yes. And especially it's been happening since 2019, right? More and more people are getting invested. So they're actually they've got a lot to learn when it comes to the game. And they'll see a result and they'll panic and they'll say, oh my goodness, we lost to Argentina. And they'll see Manie miss one kick and say, okay, well, he's useless type of thing. But it just takes a bit of like knowledge, and it takes a bit of time to realize that it's Rassie Erasmus is at the wheel. Like, we got this, so just relax.
Yeah,
boys, I've got a little controversial opinion. Want to hear your thoughts on it. Argentina should have had 2 red cards in that game. Obviously, Pablo Matera's one, obvious red card. I don't know what he was doing. That was a deluded brain that went in there and smashed Vincent Koch's brain in. Okay, that's pure red card. But the Carreras one that got sent a yellow card, my reasoning that I think it's a red card as well, and I want to hear your opinion, is because he was never in control, right? He took Fussy out of the air, whacked his feet out. But the reason they gave it a yellow card is for Fussy blocking himself and falling safely. That is on Fussy being like alert in the air. Carreras, even if he didn't change anything, so if Fussy was like, okay, I'm going to milk it, right, and just land on like my high back or whatever, that would have been a red. That it doesn't take away from how dangerous that was of Carreras. Do you guys understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with, let's say Carreras threw a punch, which is automatically a red card. But because Fussy dodged it, it's not going to be a red card. It's only going to be he still threw the punch. He still whacked his feet out while he was like 10 meters up in the air. I was like, that has to be an instant red. That is a red. Because that is highly dangerous. We saw how Bowden Barrett landed when Curtly Orense did the same thing. You know?
Yeah, but let me just explain something to you quickly in context of what happened. The commentators all rushed, and so did the TMO, rushed to say Fussy did well to turn his body in the air. And I promise you, that had nothing to do with Fussy. There is no way whatsoever that a person will react that quickly to land safely. I felt that he was hit at the right place in order to land safely. And I felt that's why I was happy with the yellow card, because yes, the human instinct is there, but we're not cats. We're not going to react that quickly. And to give Fussy the credit, it sounds like I'm hating on Fussy, and I wish it was somebody else, but just so I can get my point out. The fact that he landed safely, it's just coincidence, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, it's the way people interpret the law, right? And obviously, I'm not going to state the law word for word because I'll just be fooling myself here. But like refs will say, it depends on the way the guy lands. But then other refs will say it's the actions of the player who commits the tackle in the air, right? So it's all about how Ben O'Keefe or the TMO or whatever simply just looked at the situation and said, this is how I'm looking into it. Because he landed safely, I'm going to give it a yellow card. But now another ref on another day goes, that action is there's no
Highly dangerous.
It's highly dangerous, and that could have ended up in a very bad situation, and they give a straight red. So this is when it comes to the consistency we ask for as fans, kind of have and I don't know, like a rule book that is followed, not necessarily, okay, to a T, yes, but at the same time, be consistent to the way you follow that rule book. And I think a lot of refs kind of need to get on the same page, because there's a lot of refs who have different interpretations of the laws. So that's just how I think it went down. I just think the TMO on the day and Ben O'Keefe kind of think because he landed safely, it's a yellow. So
Yeah, possibly.
And actually, I want to give Ben O'Keefe credit for how he handled this game. I've never been a Ben O'Keefe fan. I've always thought he's been one of the worst refs in history. I've always had an issue with him. But I'll point out that this, in my opinion, was hands down his best game ever. The way he handled it, the way he handled the players, he let captains talk when they needed to talk. His officiating on the breakdown especially was pinpoint. He was the one that asked the TMO, can you please check that? It looked like he hit his head when Pablo Matera hit him. Normally the TMO would be the one jumping in and say, check. And he said, I think I saw something. Can you check that for me? Like, I mean, the game's going at 100 miles per hour, and he's still pointing out stuff like that. So Ben O'Keefe, I know everyone in the world watches this podcast. So when you get to minute 24 in this podcast, I just want to point out, well done.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I still have two more things that I want to bring up on this game. First and foremost, did you guys see Felipe Contempomi walking out of the press conference? People call, I think it was Brendan Nell that called him out for going to talk to Ben O'Keefe during halftime. He came out and said, I didn't speak to him halftime. And he just like threw his toys out of the cart and he was like, yeah, I'm done. Boom, walks out. But he did go and talk to him. It was just after the game.
But no, imagine if Rusty had done that. The world would be having a heart attack. They would literally be like, this is a disgrace. Sappers are a disgrace. The whole country is a disgrace. Everything they stand for is a disgrace. This is just what we get, But yeah. I mean, I guess after a big loss like that, your emotions are very high, and it's I'm not going to say the guy's an idiot. It's just maybe fix the emotions a bit. I mean, it happens to all of us. We all have our bad days. So
Yeah, Contepomi's been the golden boy for Argentina for many, many years. And I think Brendan Nell knew exactly how to trigger him because he's always been opinionated. He's like John Cohen from New Zealand. Like, if it's not his way, he's going to shout at you and have small mind mentality. And that's what I think Brendan Nell was kind of hoping that he's going to find a trigger point now for Contepomi because that's content.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know. Is it a normal thing for coaches to go and speak to refs about like decisions they don't necessarily agree with
if it's
after the game?
if it's after the game, there's no issues in
Yeah,
mind.
so that's kind of the reason why Contempomi probably got angry, which is like to some degree I can understand it, right? Because he said like you misinformed and now you're just like trying to slander me while this didn't happen. If you get what I mean? Because it was like during halftime, like he's trying to influence the game or something like that. But to just like stand up and walk away, it's not really
So the
the
thing is,
greatest
I
look.
think as a player and a coach, especially, and maybe not so much in rugby, but it's probably going to start building up because of the heated rivalries we're starting to get, etc. But a lot of the time in sport, journalists are, I don't want to use the word evil, but I'm going to use the word of,
They're very evil, Brevin.
I don't
They
want to
are
use that word. I don't want to use
pure
that word, but
evil.
they know
Whatever
what
gets
they're
the
doing.
clicks, bro.
They know what they're doing, and they'll ask the questions to get a reaction. And it's all about how you just go, look, it is what it is. I know what you're trying to do here, so sorry, but I'm not going to give you what you need. And it's all about just composing yourself, because at the end of the day, like, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep when it comes to a journalist asking a question.
I mean, Razor had to deal with a lot more shit than that one question.
You took the
Razor
words
had to
out of
fight
my
him.
mouth. I was just about to hammer on Razor, and you said Razor because this whole tournament he's been whining. He's not. I don't think he's PR trained as well as New Zealand rugby wants him to be because all he's been doing is whining. I even saw a comment section from some verified account. It was a page, not a person, and the page says, "Would you like some cheese with that wine?" I love it.
Boys, okay. Time for kind of an interesting but fun discussion. What's next for the Springboks, right? Because we'll talk a little bit of URC in a second. How do we approach it from here on going forward? Because Brett, we had a discussion where we spoke about, okay, the team, it's not an old team, but when it comes to 2027, they'll be on the older side, and you don't want to like start a rebuild from scratch. Like you kind of want to bring out some players and go in with the new. Do we see a couple of youngsters like the likes of Cameron Hanekom, Ethan Hooker, maybe a Inku van Wyk? Do we see the likes of those guys starting to play at the end of the year? Would you stick with the boys that we have now for, let's say, the next rugby championship and then build for 2 years until the next World Cup? How do we approach this from your perspective?
Like I told you, who did you ask?
Both of us,
You.
but I should go for it because I'm still thinking.
Okay, so from my side, I think this year, 2024, has to be played out with the guys that we currently have. I said this to you, I think, a month ago, that this is how it must be because we got this continuity. We wanted a 100% win rate for 2024. To go to Europe now, I think it's just not going to sit well with fans that we experimenting, like, because that's their preseason now. They getting ready for Six Nations, and now we bring this pur team. This is what France does when they travel. They send this mediocre team across the world and then dub their players as the best in the world because they play well in France. Sorry, that was just a little dig. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be the strong side. Maybe a Hanekom will go with and bench, but why punish Ulrich Loh? Ulrich Loh's been playing well. Waha Smith's playing well. Everyone's playing well.
Before you go, Brett, how about if we don't do full rotations, but let's say just a couple of boys, just to get them used to the system. So you play Cameron Hanekom, for instance, at 6 you play Pieter Steff and for instance Jasper Wiese. You still have Ulrich Lau on the bench. You bring on one guy that can take that jersey forward. You play Johan Grobler, for instance, with Oxenche and with Frans Malherbe. So just like here and there, touch guys into the system, or Ethan Hooker, for instance.
Something just crossed my mind that we forgot about. Remember last year, the Japanese teams don't release their players. We won't have a Marks, we won't have a Kriel, we won't have Kwacha, we won't have all the Japanese guys, we won't have a Colby. They weren't allowed to play last year.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise then, because then we're forced to do it as well.
And we won't have.
Is this confirmed? Like genuinely, the whole
no.
of November.
It's not
every
confirmed.
year.
It's not confirmed. But remember, last year it was the exact same thing. We had none
But
of our.
It's just the last couple games or last game.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's at least a few games we might have them. If not, then we're gonna have to rotate.
We probably won't have them for that England game. We never
saying.
have them for the England game. And that's when the English start to brag if they beat us once.
Yeah. Brett just raised the point that's made me forget what I want to say. But yeah, look, if it is the case that we have the players available, let's just put it that way. You stick with your core. I truly believe that. I stick with what you have. Like you said, you can bring in a Hanekom, you can bring in maybe 2 or 3 max. And the game to use them properly would be the Welsh game, in my opinion. That's when you could really use, no disrespect, they're just the weakest out of the 3 teams we're going to be playing in November. I'd even be happy to see them play in the Scottish game, because I do think they can get a job done there as well.
And the Scots are shit.
Okay, your words, not mine. But if obviously we don't have players available, then we're going to have to use the depth that we always say we have. And guys, there are guys sticking up their hands in the union. So give them opportunities, I mean, it's what they need. It's how we build depth.
Well, you just spoke about it, Brevon. In the unions, in the franchises, we spoke about South Africa now. Congratulations to our boys. Rugby World Cup.
Just switch over. If Peter Steff does not win World Player of the Year, there's corruption. 100%.
Well, I actually saw an interesting shout. You know who's actually also there? A prop with the name Oxenche.
That's fair.
In the past year, Rugby Challenge Cup, he's won the World Cup. He's part of the Sharks team that won the Currie Cup, and he's done the Rugby Championship, and he's been brilliant. He's not even just been. He has been smashing through people.
How many nominees are there?
Sorry?
How many nominees are there usually for World Player of the Year? 4 or 5?
4. So Pieter Steff, Oxenche, and Colby walks in.
Literally.
And Kalen Doris gets another
South
spot.
African.
Kalen Doris gets another spot.
It's not going to be Oxenche. Let me tell you why.
It's not going to be, but interesting.
Besides that, even if he was man of the match every single game, then I'd give it to him. But remember the first 2 games against Australia, we actually raised the point that Ox is playing shit. 2 games in a row he played shit. In the same rugby championship. Go back, look back at the episode. We literally complained about how shit he was playing. And then we still said, oh, this is the Ox that we like and love and all that stuff, and he's back, and now he's back at his best when he played against the All Blacks.
I can't remember that. I've never judged Ox.
Go look at our episode.
Yeah, I'll have to go run that back.
Me too, because that sounds like something we say about Salman Murad.
I was talking to someone the other day about this, and I said yes, because they pointed it out to me, and I said yes, he was shit those games, but he came back very, very well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Cheslin Colby and Pieter Steff du Toit has to be there.
Mm-hmm. Guys, Cheslin is different.
Different gravy.
The man is just not normal. Like those two superheroes of the Springboks. Like, and obviously, sorry, congratulations, Yebin. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
128 not out. Get to 150 for the boys. But yeah, congrats. Like, huge achievements, and it's awesome to see.
Well,
'Cause,
Griffin,
yeah.
you know something that we actually forget about? Like, Eben has done it now. We missed about 14 games during the COVID season. He could have pushing towards 150 now already. Then we could have
Yes.
had Eben in the conversation for the most capped player ever. And I'm sure when he hits 150 and he knows he's still got a couple of years in him, I don't care how old he gets, he's probably going for most capped player ever. And he deserves it. He deserves it.
What's
He's
Alan Wynne
been
Jones on? What's Alan Wynne Jones on?
170 something
I'll tell you now. I think it's 160 odd.
or 160 odd.
Anyway, we can
There's-
carry on to.
Most capped, eh?
Sorry?
Alan Wynne Jones is the most capped
Yeah.
player, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if we say we can play Eben for years and years, right? Because he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. He's
But
still
also-
playing this.
The way I see it is, who can replace him? If you look at what we have at the moment, who can replace Ibn Esbeth at 4?
No one's close.
Be honest with
No
yourself.
one is close.
Exactly.
All of good locks are 5. All of them.
Revan Harps.
I'm getting a bit old. So
Trevor's getting a bit old.
Anyways,
Trevor's literally 25.
for my professional career, I'm a bit old. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, never say never. Never say never. We'll say that.
Exactly.
158 caps for Wales, and 13 for the British and Irish. So 158 plus the 173. Yeah, 173.
Yeah, Eben deserves that more than Alan Jones.
I think
so.
Yebin and Yebin's going to run on first for 150 test caps, and then right behind him is going to be Frans Malherbe for his 100th test cap. Same game.
He deserves it.
How many
He
is France
deserves it.
on?
76.
Yeah, and by that time, Veli Leroux probably plays his third game that he still needs to get to 100. Because at the moment, they ain't playing Veli.
Yeah.
Veli has to get to 100. It is
No, he has
unacceptable
to.
if
He
Veli
has to.
doesn't get to 100. Okay,
Yes.
I don't
It's
care
gonna
if
be
Daniel
like-
Williams fits or whatever. Veli gets to 100 first. He gets to 100.
Yes. Well, there's
Okay.
3 games left on tour. If he has a good URC injury-free, then he'll probably get it against England.
No, they're
Twickenham.
going to play. They'll still play fussy. Well, they play Damien Willemse. That's what they're going to do.
Okay, but can we get into that debate another time? Because I think we have URC to talk about, and
Okay, let's
we all
do
know
it.
if we get into debate there, it's going one way, Damien Willemse, but then obviously
Why are we
Yeah.
talking
Next
URC?
because our teams played. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
and we're switching over now. There's no more international rugby, and
Then
we
let's
haven't
do it.
covered the.
No,
Hey?
let's shoot the episode tomorrow then on URC.
Would you rather do that? So
You
our
wanna talk
Wednesday
Australian?
episode is on URC.
No, we have 4 episodes this week.
Sorry, guys, we're just having a discussion about strategy and stuff. It's not scripted yet. Bear with us for 1 minute. Yeah. Anyways,
No, I
We-
prefer to do it 3 episodes a week still.
Okay. Then go.
We're-
Talk about
We're just
URC.
gonna have a quick chat, right? Because I'm pissed off. I'm already here and I'm pissed off. Okay? Because Lions, brilliant. Bulls scraped over the line, but Altitude Rugby Club has got it over the line. Okay? Did the Sharks lose? The
Yes.
Sharks bottled it. Yeah, the Sharks bottled it. Okay, they were in a massive lead. What the fuck was the Stormers doing? It's the Ospreys, boys. I thought, listen, seeing that they beat us at Cape Town Stadium literally last season, we will be coming out with vengeance. We were useless. We did nothing. Nada. This looked like the Western Province ran out, not the Stormers.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
And we
Disaster.
crumbled the second Yuri Mathieu went off the field.
Just bring me back Manie. There was no creativity. Zero.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuri Mathieu was so good. And when he went off and Duplessis came on, I don't know. I felt that's when the Stormers crumbled.
Look, I can't lie. I was playing away yesterday. I didn't get to see any URC games. I just kind of watched the Bulls a bit today to catch up. But yeah, that's not a good result. I
It's
really
a terrible
want,
result, Brevan.
I
Just
wanted
say
the
it like it
Stormers
is.
to win. I want top 4 must be Bulls, Stormers, Sharks, Lions. That's what I'd love. It'd be great. But yeah, I hate this thing where we I wish it was something that every union can fix. It's just when we start traveling, I don't know what goes on. It's just like people have a bit of a, oh, we're going to Europe. Okay, that's not good, and we panic almost. And that comes to every team. And yeah, I think it's something that needs to be looked at because with the depth we have, we should be winning. So especially against a team like the Ospreys.
I'm not liking the Stormers squad depth at this point. We need our Springboks back. Very.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially seeing that we sold our workhorses and we sold our good players that aren't Springboks. Now
Can
we
I
just
just say something? Can I say something on that point? Kaba, that now plays for the Bulls, that is the Stormers' like second fetcher. Holy shit! How good did he play? Anybody?
I'm nodding.
I didn't really keep an eye on him that much. But
let's talk URC. Didn't watch any games.
I did watch the games. I watched
all the games.
Okay, but we know how good Namakawa is. I told you from the start, I can't believe we sold him. I couldn't believe it. And you sell him to the Bulls. Like what is going on through our head, right? Selling literally one of our only fetchers. What is going through our head? Selling Daimani, who was so impactful for us, and getting zero replacements for them. Zero replacements for them. I don't understand what the thought process is around it. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I have no words. Even Damian Willems, who I love, was shit yesterday. First game back, shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I love Damian, and he'll be the best player in the world come next weekend again. Trust the process.
I don't think he was shit. I think compared to what he can do, that was shit. But he was still one of the better players for the Stormers.
Yeah, but you have to put it in standards. Come on, Brett. If you're the best player in the world and you look like just the best player on the park, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
Give the guy a break. I mean,
he's locked a beautiful drop goal though.
Yeah, I'm done talking URC. I'm on a Bok high.
On a Bok high. Okay. Well, the Bulls won as well, and the Lions won. Lions, great performance, by the way. Great performance. Kuan Horn, wow, magic. He was magic. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe. We do appreciate all of you.
Okay, bye.